Scaling your law firm doesn't have to be difficult. It's all about mastering a few key strategies, systems, and mindsets. Welcome to the Scalable Law Podcast, where we talk about how you can increase profit in your pocket and time in your calendar. My name is Carolee Fontanelli, and I have successfully scaled my firm so that it doesn't solely rely on me. Now I love teaching other law firm owners how to do the same. Let's transform your business starting now. Welcome to the Scalable Law Podcast. I am your host, Carolee, and I'm tuning in from Perth, which is so exciting. I have never been to Perth before, so I'm really excited to go out today. I'm having lunch with one of our amazing Scalable Law clients who has absolutely killed it in her law firm in the last couple of years since she's been part of the program. She was totally stressed out when she joined. Since then, she has built her own office. She has built an incredible team, and she's removed herself from the business needing her all of the time, which is so awesome. She told me when she first joined that she would wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning thinking about her junior lawyer. That sounds so boring to me, but it was stressing her out, and I totally get it. Anyway, we've removed all of those bottlenecks from her firm and she's living a completely different life. So I'm really excited to go and see her office, which she's moved into in the last couple of years, and also to just see her team and see what the firm is like, and for her to show me some of Perth, which is going to be super awesome. And I've just come from Adelaide, so I'm here fortunately and luckily enough to be on a roadshow with Clio Elevate, or actually I'm on the roadshow with Clio. The roadshow is called Elevate that they're putting on. So it's where they bring together a whole bunch of law firms and we talk about Clio, and in particular the new Clio work that is coming out in the next few weeks, which is their premium AI product, which I'm so excited about. It's going to change everything for law firm owners, but not only law firm owners that have Clio, because you can actually use Clio work inside any of your PMS platforms. So that's super exciting. So tonight we are hanging out with a whole bunch of law firm owners in Perth, which will be brilliant. Anyway, today what I am going to be talking to you about is how you can save so much time. I have got an incredible hack for you with your email, super easy to set up. But let's first talk about how your inbox isn't actually a time management problem, it's an operational problem. Most law firm owners think that their email problem is time management because it's constantly filling up and you just don't have enough time to get through it, or you're not organized enough to get through it. This is not the issue. It's actually an operational problem. And today I want to walk you through why your inbox is quietly running your law firm and your life, and the simple structural changes that I'm going to give you today can help take it back off your desk and out of your head, which is so important. Let's first name the pattern and work out what is going on for you in your law firm and in your inbox. One of the things that I found so difficult was the constant email interruption. That is the most common one, I think, for most lawyers and law firm owners. And it's also the most underestimated because this is a massive source of overwhelm for law firm owners. It doesn't feel like a big problem in the moment, small emails coming in and checking emails all day, or it's just one email. But it's the constant switching that actually is a huge problem, not the volume. And that constant switching drains capacity. I don't know if you know this, but every time you are interrupted by something, it takes you 20 minutes to reset. So even if it's just a 2-minute interruption, it will take 20 minutes. So you've lost 20 minutes of the day. Every time you're glancing at an email mid-task, you don't just lose 30 seconds, right? And then you lose that mental thread that you're holding on to and the work that you're actually doing. And it takes 20 minutes to rebuild that focus. Most law firm owners don't notice this cost because it happens in small increments all day, every day. The issue really isn't how many emails you get. The real issue is how many times a day you are allowing your email to interrupt you. This is the biggest problem. So let's reframe the root cause and have a look at what we can do about this. So I want you to know that it's not a discipline issue on your part. It's actually about structure. If your systems allow constant interruption will keep happening, no matter how organized you are in your law firm. What the right structure does is it actually allows you to create freedom. And I know that sounds weird because often when we think about structure, we think of being restricted. But if you have the right structures in place, it does build freedom, not only in your inbox, but your entire firm, right? That's how I ended up with so much freedom in my law firm, was because that I created a lot of structure. So everything fell on the structure rather than falling on who knows what, right? So don't be scared of getting some structure in place. And if you haven't got much structure in your law firm, your inbox is the perfect place to start. A quieter inbox isn't a small admin fix, right? It's actually part of becoming the strategic owner rather than the overworked operator. And that's where I really want all law firm owners to be thinking about where they want to go. I don't want you to be the technician in the firm who's overworked and overwhelmed. I want you to have an amazing life that's supported by an incredible law firm. So the thing here to remember is that you don't need more willpower around your inbox. You need some structure around it, and maybe that is around creating less access to it. So let's talk about now some practical strategies. So this is the core and the actionable part of the episode. So you might want some pens here and paper. I'm going to walk you through each one with a short explanation and why it works. So the first thing is, and this made a massive difference to me, is to turn off your email notifications from your phone and also your computer as well. This is especially important after hours. You should definitely not be checking your phone email after hours. So for me, having that time after work and having those boundaries so that I could go home and be with the family was so important. And so I kept my Outlook on my phone, but I turned the notifications off so that the emails could come in, but I wasn't really aware of it. The reality is, as a law firm owner or even a lawyer working in a firm, you can't actually help people after hours anyway. We have to wait until everyone starts work tomorrow. So why are we worrying about it overnight? And what it does is it doesn't just ruin, your time. It also ruins your peace. If you see an email that stirs you up in the wrong way around bedtime or anything like that, it can ruin your night's sleep. Hands up if that has happened to you. So let's turn your email notifications off. This was the biggest change that I made that made an absolute massive difference. The point isn't that emails aren't important, they are. It's just that you've got to have boundaries around the times that you are checking your emails so that you create the division between work and home, work and free time. Otherwise, it all intermingles and you don't have any freedom outside of, in your personal time. And this is so important to have that balance and to not burn out, right? Very, very important. So I dare you and challenge you to turn your email notifications off. Now, the reason it's so important on your desktop is that when you are working and you have your email open while you're working, let's say you're doing strategy or you're doing deep client work or whatever it might be, as soon as you get an email, you then look at the email and then again, you've got to do the whole reset after you've done what you needed to do. Or maybe you don't even go back to the deep work you were doing because you've been interrupted. If you're doing deep work, turn off your inbox, quit Outlook and leave it quit while you're doing that work and come back to your inbox later. We don't want notifications popping up on your screen and interrupting you from the deep, great work that you could be doing. So that's why I think that is really important. So these are 2 great tips so far. 1, turn off your notifications on your phone so that you have a balance between work and home. And the other one is to turn off your notifications and close down your Outlook while you are doing deep work. Let's jump into the third one. The third one is stop grazing on your email all day long and start batching. Looking at emails on the go without time to properly respond is one of the biggest drains on your mental capacity. What happens when you skim emails when you're on the go is that you don't have time to act on them. Then what happens is that the email disappears down the list and you kind of forget about it for a moment, and then you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and think, shoot, I didn't actually respond to that person. So it's mental load and it's stress that you're carrying all of the time. So stop grazing and start just looking at your emails intentionally in batched amounts of time. So for example, you could log onto your computer first thing in the morning and check your emails and get all up to date with your emails at that time. And then you might have an 11 o'clock where you check your email. So you do another half an hour deep work on emails. And then you might do a 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. And then before you close off for the day. So batch it a few times throughout the day rather than constantly being available. Not everything needs to be answered right now. Some things can wait, right? It's really important to realize that and not to think that you have to respond to everything immediately, because that's not the case. And you certainly don't have to interrupt the good work that you're doing to check something, to check the emails. So that's what I would be doing there. What this means is that you can sit down, meaningfully answer all of your emails, get it all off your plate. Then you've got a fresh mental load and you've got capacity to get on with the next task for the day. Now, this tip, I wish I had when I was a law firm owner. I have it now in my business now, and I 100% recommend that you should do this. It's very new. It's very exciting. You need to connect your inbox to Claude. If you don't have Claude yet, go and get Claude. I would recommend going on a Teams license, because that means that your material that you're putting into Claude isn't training the machine. So that's really important. It's really inexpensive to get it. So get it and connect it to your inbox. What does this mean? Oh my gosh, this is the newest layer of structure that's available to law firm owners right now. And it changes who has to be the first touch point on every email. So a couple of practical uses. One practical use is that you can schedule Claude to check your emails, say every morning at 8 a.m. So by the time you arrive at the office and open your computer, all of your emails have been checked, they've been opened, all your junk has been opened. I mean, how much time do you spend checking your junk? I spend heaps of time checking my junk, and it just sits there and you don't unsubscribe. You should do that, but you don't. That fills your inbox, and then you've got to work out which are substantive emails that you need to reply to, and then you work through slowly replying to them all. Well, with Claude, it can check all of your emails and do first drafts, and they sit in your drafted box in your inbox. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. It is so amazing. If you have not yet connected Claude, you must. This is so good. It's very, very easy to do. You just go down to connect and you connect your Microsoft Outlook or your Gmail account, whichever one you are using. I'm using Microsoft Outlook. It was very easy to connect. The other way that I have been using it is to summarize email threads. So sometimes you've had lots of emails backwards and forwards with somebody, and you lose track of those emails. They end up sprinkled throughout the email inbox. So you can ask Claude to go in and summarize a whole thread. So when did this person first contact me? What's been the correspondence backwards and forwards? And it will do a table for you with all of your emails, the dates, the outline of each of those emails and give you a timeline. This is so exciting. I used this feature just this week to help me with something that I'm doing, and it was actually amazing. You can also ask Claude. So this might be maybe not for your client matters, which are in your practice management software, where it might be easy to see the sequences, but it could be for anything you've been doing in your business, like with accounts or with your accountant, for example. It could be anything to do with conversations you've had with your team or a provider, whatever it might be. So this is actually life-changing. It can also draft any replies that you ask it to draft, and then it just puts those drafts, as I said before, into the draft box in your inbox. This tool really can reduce the noise of your inbox. And it's not one more thing that you have to manage. It actually is something that can make your life a whole lot easier. I know law firms who use staff to do this type of thing in their inbox. That's a lot of time for someone and a massive cost. So this really is going to replace that purpose. So no matter who you've got on your team, you can do this, and it is actually amazing. So the goal here isn't a perfectly organized inbox or anything like that. The goal is that the inbox stops running your day, which is what is so important here, that it stops interrupting you and running your day throughout the day. So let's talk about and recap all of the things we have talked about. So we have talked about using Claude to check your inbox daily and pop in your drafts. We've talked about turning off your notifications on your phone so that you've got a better work-life balance and you've got boundaries. It's important that you create boundaries in your life. And then also batching throughout the day. So stop just snacking on your email all day long and just sit down and eat it all at once and get it over and done with, maybe several times a day, but allow that time and space so that you have mental clarity. What I love about this strategy is it's not just about email. It's one small practical example of a bigger shift, which is building a business that doesn't need you to switch on every hour it is open. Law firm owners who make even one of these changes usually describe the same thing to me: more mental space, more focus during the day, and less residual stress in the evening and in your family time on weekends. This is what operational maturity looks like in practice. It's really one big dramatic change. It's small structural decisions like this made consistently. A calmer inbox is a small change. A calmer business is actually what we are building towards here. So if email interruption is where a lot of your mental capacity and time is leaking right now, start with this one change this week. It's all very easy to implement. Turn off your after hours notifications, close your inbox while you're at work, and connect to Claude to let it carry some of the load for you. Structure like this changes everything and usually starts smaller than people expect. So let's just start here if you haven't started with other things. If you are keen on learning more about how to grow a business, grow a law firm that doesn't require you in it all of the time, so a law firm that gives you more freedom and more profit, if that's what you want in your life and in your firm, then you can join me on my webinar, which is on the 19th of August. If you're listening to this past the 19th of August, check out what else I might be running or ask for the replay, because it's going to be an incredible workshop giving you lots of tips on what you can do to start moving your firm towards the firm of your dreams, one that supports your life, not one where you're supporting it constantly. I hope that you've really enjoyed today's podcast and that it's given you something to go away and think about and set up in your firm. Love to hear from you. You can contact me on Instagram or LinkedIn or you can send me a quick email if you like. Love talking to law firm owners and checking out as well who is tuning in and listening. All right, well, that's all we've got for you this week. I'm looking forward to next week's podcast. We will talk then. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to the Scalable Law Podcast, brought to you by the Scalable Business Lounge. If you would love to know how you can get more clients without relying on referrals, head over to scalablelaw.com to watch my free masterclass. Until next time, you have got this.